Okay, good morning, everyone. It's the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It's Monday, January 4th, 2021. The time is 9:02. Steve, could you call the roll for the log, please? Steve, could you call the roll, please? Can someone call Steve or text him, let him know we can't hear him? John, you want to go ahead and call the roll for the log, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Here.
Commissioner King,
Here.
Commissioner Reagan.
Present.
All right, all present.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to the reorganization of the Board of Commissioners. We'll start off with the election of the president.
Thanks.
I'll make a motion. We elect Sherry Reagan as president.
I'll second it. Steve, are you there?
I just called him Shannon to tell him to turn
Okay.
the mute off.
John, you will go ahead and call the roll on that one, please?
Sure. Any other nominations? Well, it was just Commissioner Reagan was the only one, right?
Yeah, Commissioner Reagan
Yes.
was the nomination.
What if Commissioner Reagan wants to decline?
That's up to Commissioner Reagan.
I was going to nominate James so we could get back on our schedule, but
Do you wish to decline?
no, yes, I really do, because we had a schedule going, and I think James has been vice president. So, yes, I decline.
Okay.
Sherry, I was president 2 years before Shannon. And then Shannon wasn't, and I was vice president under Shannon. I figured you would want it. If you don't,
Fine. I think we should get back on the schedule we had. And I appreciate you, James, but I'm
Sherry,
fine.
Sherry, do you make a motion then to make
Yes,
James
I'll
president?
make a motion to nominate James.
Okay, I'll second that nomination. John, can you call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
yes.
All right, James, the gavel is yours.
All right. Next, we have the election of vice president of the Board of Commissioners. Do I have any nominations?
I'll nominate Sherry.
I'll second it. Is there any other nominations? If not, I'll ask to close for nominations for vice president.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Having a motion and a second to close nominations for vice president. John, can you call the roll on that?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes. John, can you call the roll for Sherry Reagan to be vice president of the Delaware County Commissioners, Board of Commissioners?
Yes. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to appointments, commissioner appointments. John, you have that list.
I do have the list.
Okay. Could you read off the appointments that we will be making today?
Sure, I will share the screen here. First, we have the 911 director, which will be Paul Singleton. Executive Administrator Jenny Honeycutt. County Attorney John Brook. EMA Director John Catino. EMS Director Mike Ashley. Highway Superintendent will be Tom Humbert on an interim basis. Project Director / Administrator Angela Moyer. HR Director Pam McCammon. Veterans Affairs Officer Nate Jones. Inspector Weights and Measures Jeff Brandon. Maintenance Superintendent Charles Walker, Economic Development Brad Bookout. Also, we have Delaware County Finance Committee. For the commissioners will be Jenny Honeycutt. Alcohol Tobacco Commission, Tom Simpson. Delaware County Drainage Board will be the same as before. Commissioner Henry, Jamie Swoboda, John Landers, Bill Whitehead, Richard McIntyre, and the attorney will be Brandon Murphy. County Redevelopment Commission appointments will be Commissioner King, Bryce Conyers, and Angie Boyer. The ex officio board member will be Paul Garrison. Appointment to the Delaware Advancement Corporation will be James King. The County Community Revitalization Economic Enhancement District, those appointments will be the same. Dan Allen, Leslie Mathewson, Commissioner King, Angie Moyer, Jeff Rotifer, Doug White. The Emergency Communications Board with the city is James King, Shannon Henry. Property Tax Board of Appeal, the PETA-BOA, Sharon Black and Robert Adams, the same appointments. You may go on to the appointments with terms of office too.
Yes, please.
Okay. Airport Authority, there were 2 positions, Mike Foster and Ron Jones. The Board of Health, Dr. Anthony Dowell. Community Corrections Advisory Board, Kelly Bryan, Doris Granados, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Jeff Hansard, Jody Cole, Royce Mitchell, Sue Templin, Carol Ammon, Robert Darden. Those are the same that have been there before. Convention and Tourism, Dr. Leland Wilhoit and Jared Walls. Those are also appointments that have been there. East Central Indiana Planning Council, Commissioner King, Marta Moody, and Councilman Ryan Ballard. Those are the same appointments. East Central Indiana Solid Waste District, Commissioner King and Commissioner Riggin. The Fair Board, these are the same. Charlotte Anthony, Donna Patterson, Melanie Marshall, Jane Lassiter, Cora Knatzer, Larry Clendenin, Eldon Reed, Sean Eldridge, and Commissioner Henry will be an ex officio member. Liberty Regional Wastewater District, Mark Dennis will assume the position that was formerly occupied by Steve Graves, who's resigned. Metropolitan Plan Commission, Teresa Hensley and Shannon, Commissioner Henry, both the same appointments. Public Defender Board will be Danielle Struble, who's currently on the board. ICAP will be Commissioner Riggin and Mike Downham. They're on the board. Delaware County Regional Wastewater District, Ray Maynard and Bill Walters. Those are currently on the board. Information Technology Board will be Commissioner Riggin.
John, on the
Yes.
Airport Authority, is that supposed to be Russell Jones?
Is it Russell? Okay, Russell Jones.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Just need a motion and a second. Do we need to amend that with Russell Jones, John?
I made it a change on the hard copy, but yeah, Russell Jones will be the appointment. And I don't know Ron John. I assumed his name was Ron, but I stand corrected.
Yeah.
As corrected.
Just need a motion and a second.
I make a motion, we approve the appointments as John has provided there.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is Steve on here yet?
He's not.
John, could you call the roll then?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes. Next, we'll move to contracts and agreements for approval.
I know it. I had to get off and get back on, but
And,
I'll catch it.
we'll move to the emergency declaration 2021-01.
Yes, this is the emergency declaration that continues the pandemic emergency. The governor extended the declaration to include through the end of the month. And this one goes till your next meeting. It's the same as before, the mask requirements for businesses and in the county building. And it doesn't really change that.
Just need to entertain a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the emergency or extend the emergency declaration 2021-01.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. John, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to the farm ground lease. John?
Yes, at the December 21st meeting, the commissioners approved and accepted the bids of the respective bidders. There was one section of ground that had more than one bidder. I contacted the bidders and found out that the other bidder that was not successful did not want to increase their bid. So it remained with the successful bidder on
Okay.
doing that. So,
John,
yes, ma'am.
under section 3, I think it's a typo under 1A that 30.02 acres should be just 30.2. No O. It just makes a difference of $48, but to be correct.
That's on the Spangler lease.
Yes, the very first one. Thank you.
Okay.
Need a motion and a second for the lease agreement.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. John, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes.
Was that for both lease agreements?
I believe that was just for the Spangler. We'll go ahead and do the right and light now.
Okay. That's up on your screen.
Yep. Need a motion and a second for that one.
So move.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. John, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to resolutions. We have a resolution number 2021-001, resolution of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners establishing policy and procedures to protect decorum and foster the effective administration of public meetings. John, you want to explain this?
Sure. This is the same resolution that was adopted in 2019. I thought it's a good practice for the commissioners to make this the first resolution of every year, just to make sure that these rules stay in place for meetings all throughout the year. And so this is the same resolution you adopted in 2019.
John, I appreciate you doing this, and we do want to be accountable. The only problem I have is that we don't mention anything about the new format of our meetings. So I'm thinking we should table it and kind of tweak it a little bit so we can put the video, the Facebook, and that in there, because it talks about the 3-minute time limit, and we're not doing that anymore. And I just thought it should be corrected while we're doing it. I mean, the meaning, what the purpose is very, very well. But
So is that your motion, Sherry?
yes, I move we table it.
So we're going to include, you want to include the electronic meetings in this, basically, Sherry, is what you're saying, correct?
I think we should update it. Yes, thank you.
I'll second Sherry's motion.
Okay, have a motion and a second to table. John, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes,
Commissioner King.
Yes.
I will update that for the next meeting then.
thank you.
Next, we have resolution 2021-002, Resolution rescinding collective bargaining for employees. John, you want to go over this one also?
Yes, the county has one collective bargaining agreement left. It expires in April of this year, 2021. According to the contract, there is a time frame in which the commissioners have to send notification to the union of the intent to terminate the agreement. Anywhere from no less than 60 days and no more than 120 days. We're within that time frame right now, and so the commissioners have to send a notice and adopt a resolution so that I can send the notice to the union to terminate the agreement in April.
What's the commissioner's pleasure?
John, would you like to repeat which unions they are?
Sure. The only labor contract we have left is the labor agreement with the United Auto Workers for the sheriff deputies, correctional officers, and security bailiffs, and the 911 employees.
I'll make a motion. We approve the resolution.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. John, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Riggin,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes.
I will then send a letter to the union pursuant to that resolution.
Thank you.
Next, do we have any department heads or elected officials that would like to speak?
James, I just want to say something real quick. I know this weekend, the city had a call where they had a lost 10-year-old, and our EMA was requested out there. And I think they was out there with 12 people or more. And I think John and his entire staff was there. And the new drone that we approved here not too long ago, it was used. And I just want to say good job to the EMA for going out there and working with the city officials and with the equipment you guys have. It makes me proud to see you guys on Facebook out there trying to help find this lost kid. So, and I know they's out on a fire or two this weekend also, the EMA staff was. So I just want to say good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Commissioner Henry, thank you. Thank you for that. Our guys, you're right, they were out there. I think we went out at 3:30 in the morning Saturday to help the city. They called for our people to help assist. We also took our drone, again, like you said, to fly, and that drone it cuts down on so much manpower time. They were able to fly the drone over Mansfield Park and survey that area with our FLIR, the infrared camera on it, and also Southside Middle School, which cuts down on time searching. So that's a huge help. All the departments involved worked great together. Kyle was able to get on scene, Kyle Johnson, and set up grid search areas. And that makes it a lot easier and smoother to know what you've covered and what you've not covered. So that was a huge help as well. So good job to Kyle for that. So the fire, we had probably, I think, 4 or 5 guys out there. We set up our TSU to provide rehab services for the fire departments on scene. They helped fill air bottles as well. So it was a busy weekend for us, but everybody worked well together, and we appreciate your guys' support.
And John, I'm glad you're on here today, and we like good news when we're successful, something of such. And I think your department will be, or you're speaking with the Board of Health and the state on once we get the vaccines in to Delaware County, the timeline on getting everything in place. What kind of timeline are we looking at right now? Have we heard when they might be arriving for the public?
Yes, there's several different. We meet weekly with the State Board of Health and the local health department on a virtual call, usually every Monday at noon, and they disseminate information in reference to the vaccinations, when they're coming, being delivered, and how. So we have another meeting today we're also working with our local health department to set up sites for that distribution for the public when it becomes available. The next projected, and I'll say projected because I don't know for sure, round of delivery is sometime in mid-January. I believe that those vaccinations are going to go to the additional health departments or testing site locations. So hopefully we'll know more today on our Zoom call at noon. We were also working with the health department on some public service announcement stuff. I'm gonna let Kyle talk a little bit about that.
So we've met with Jamie at the health department, and he has some grant funds that is available to help with educational outreach regarding vaccinations. We're in the early stages of setting up that campaign. It'll go beyond just your social media posts. We're trying to do some other things like radio and billboard type information just to let people know that the vaccine is safe and it's critical for as many people as possible to get it. So we should have more information coming out in the next week or two with the resources that we'll make available to the public about the vaccination in Delaware County.
And we're pretty sure it'll be, someone will have to register online somewhere, so we don't have the weight of the cars and the traffic.
All that stuff is still up in the air. So once we kind of have an idea of how that's all going to happen, those plans are put into place, then we'll share that for sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. I just want to thank the commissioners for giving me the opportunity to work another year with you guys. I hope the citizens of Delaware County do know that with these three commissioners and with John Brook, the first and foremost is the importance of Delaware County. And it's a real pleasure to work along your side. I appreciate it. Mhm.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Pam.
that.
Thanks.
Does anybody have anything else? If not, we'll go to payment of claims in the amount of $4,031,507.14.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. John, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to public comments, questions. John, do you have anything?
The only comment I have is that Mr. Mansfield was watching and wants me to correct the spelling of Mr. Walls' first name. And I have done that on the document.
Okay. Well, if we have nothing else, I entertain a motion to recess.
So moved.
Second.
John, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes. We'll go into recess.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody stay safe.